So plans for today were to go and visit a bunch of nurseries so that we could find a shade tree that we can use on our land. However, life had different plans for us, and so instead we are actually on our way up to northern Arizona into the Show Low Snowflake area to pick up a RV. So we're gonna go ahead and take you guys along with us, and yeah, we'll see you when we get there. Okay, so after a nice long 2.5 hours, we made it over to the RV. Elijah's just taking a look at the outside. We're waiting for the person to get here so we can look in the inside of it. But once we get it down to the land, we will give y'all a tour of everything. So we just left the little title place. So the travel trailer is officially in our name and we have sealed the deal and it is ours. So right now we don't have it with us. We left it at the property while we went and put the title in our name. We also had to stop at AutoZone to pick up an adapter so that we can hook up the lights to the car. Once we get back to the trailer, we're going to attach it to our distribution hitch and get all the lighting going, and then we will be on our way down to the land. So we are making progress. So we are still traveling down to the land. We are about 2.5 hours out from there, taking the trailer through the White Mountains was a doozy for us. So we're pretty much just taking it easy and slow and just, you know, just making our way inching down there. But we are excited that we now have our trailer. That is one thing that is now ticked off our to-do list. And we were talking about how weird it feels right now that we are pulling and we own a trailer now, because, you know, months ago we made all of our plans of all the steps that we need to take to prepare ourselves to move out to the land, and this is one of the major steps that we needed, somewhere to live. So now that we have it, it just feels so foreign. So we're excited to get down to the land so that we can go ahead and start the clean out process, start a tour for you guys so you can kind of see the trailer. The trailer is a 1994 and it is 26 feet long. One thing I do have to say is that Elijah had picked up a distribution hitch. I had mentioned it earlier, and we'll end up showing you what it looks like, but it makes the world of difference when it comes to towing, and it makes it a lot easier to tow as well. Yeah, we picked up the trailer from Sholo. We found it on Facebook Marketplace. A daughter and son were selling it because their mom recently passed away. I don't know when, but a little bit ago. So they're just, you know, finalizing up everything. We feel like this trailer was meant for us because we've been looking for a trailer ever since we released the window shopping video, and we really couldn't find anything that met our needs. One, we needed the space because there's 4 of us, but we also wanted something that we didn't have to put a lot of work into, something that if we just cleaned it up, we would be happy, you know, moving into it. It hasn't been already partially renovated. We just wanted something that would be easy for us to either be happy with the way it was or make modifications. Now this one, we're happy with the way it is, but we're still gonna make modifications because why not? But it seemed like it was just perfect timing for us. One of the big things is that when we were looking on Facebook, we set a price range that we wanted to look in, and a lot of new RVs are being sold on Facebook, or new-ish RVs, but they all are like at crazy price points. And so we looked back at some more older ones, and the older ones are still at like crazy price points as well. If you ever looked on Facebook and looked for RVs, these people are crazy what they're asking for RVs. And most of the time, a lot of the stuff doesn't work. It's missing something, it's been hacked apart, it's been partially painted, and they want like an arm and a leg for this stuff. And Elijah and I did not want to settle with one of those because we don't have the time that we would want to put into it, and also the time that we would put into it, we would prefer to put into the land rather than putting into the trailer like that. So we ended up finding this trailer, I think about a week ago is when we found the trailer, and the person selling it was very specific about everything, took great pictures, detailed everything about the trailer, and then also she had set a time slot for people to come. She wasn't going to hold it. She said that basically on this day I'm going to be here between this time and this time. First person that shows up can have the trailer. And so the pickup date was about a week after we saw it, so we just saved the trailers like we normally save our trailers on Facebook so that we can go back to it and look at it. And then Elijah ended up going back to it and was like, you know what, I think this might be a good deal because it was in great condition, it was taken care of, it was only used for 6 months out of the year, like a snowbird type trailer, and so it doesn't have a lot of wear and tear to it. And so he messaged the lady who was selling it, and you know, she had mentioned the same thing that she did in the post, that, you know, she wouldn't hold it, all that kind of stuff, which we understood. You know, it is what it is. So, you know, we asked all the questions that we needed to ask about the title, some of the features on it, you know, size, all that kind of stuff. And she had gotten back to us, and we had messaged her about something else, and it was like a 2-hour window. I was getting ready to get off of work, and it was a 2-hour window. Like, this is literally the day before this was yesterday. All this happened yesterday. So we went ahead and we had sent her a message, and then after like 2 hours she hadn't responded, and I was getting ready to get off work. I was like 30 minutes at the end of my shift, and so I had called Elijah and I'm like, hey, you know, we haven't gotten a response yet, blah 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 blah. And so I told Elijah, because he was the one mainly conversating with her, so I called, so I told Elijah that I would go ahead and message the lady myself so I can see if I can get an answer out of her. So I messaged and I was like, hey, I'm not sure if you saw a previous message, but well, I was messaging as if I was Elijah, but I said that, you know, my wife is about to get off of work at 5 o'clock and we need to hurry up and rush over to the bank before they close at 6 o'clock so we can grab the money out so that we can head up early in the morning so that we can get the trailer. So we just want to know, you know, X, Y, Z. And like instantly she went ahead and messaged back. And so she was like, oh yes, you know, she answered the questions that we need answered. So literally I got off of work, I snuck out 5 minutes early because I was like, we are not tempting this. We rushed home. I rushed home. We got the kids in the car. We rushed over to the bank, got the money out. Then we had to go stop at Harbor Freight to go pick up a big, huge pipe wrench because we needed a huge wrench to get our distribution hitch attached. And then we packed up the car. And so when we were while we were at Harbor Freight, the lady had so when we got home, the lady had sent us another message and she's like, hey, I'm just checking to see if, you know, you're still planning on coming tomorrow. Were you able to make it at the bank in time? And I'm like, yes, we made it to the bank. We were able to get the money. Our plan is that we're going to try and get up there between 9 a.m. and 9:30. On the post, it said that she would be there between 10 and 4. And so I told her, I was like, yeah, I know the post says that you won't be there till 10, but we want to make sure that we get there early so that we can be the first ones to get the trailer because we really want the trailer. And mind you, she was doing 0 holds for anybody. And so she read the message, and then maybe 30-40 minutes later she had messaged us back and she was like, that's great. You know what I'm going to go ahead and do for you guys is, since you're going to be up here tomorrow and you're sure about this, I'm going to go ahead and mark the trailer as sold so that, you know, no one else comes up, no one shows up, and pretty much done deal. And she had let us know, hey, there was a guy that came by tonight, like as I was talking to her, and he was wanting to buy the trailer. We found out later why they chose not to sell it to him, but he had messaged them and told them, hey, I want to buy the trailer, blah 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 blah. Pretty much into the story. He was very snarky in his response and they didn't care for that, and so they instantly had just went back with us. And so we got up at 5 in the morning, loaded up the kids, loaded up the car, and we headed up into the White Mountains up to Show Low. And so we let her know, since we told her that we were going to be up there between 9 and 9:30, she was like, hey, I can meet you guys at 9:30 so that we can go ahead and get you guys taken care of. We ended up getting there 5 minutes beforehand. We got there before they did, so we got to take a peek and look at the trailer and stuff. And then they showed up, and pretty much it was easy sailing from there. They were the nicest people ever. They were a brother and sister, great stories, and they were just really good people. After we paid them, they gave us the bill of sale, all that stuff. We ran down to Ace Hardware because we had to get an adapter so that it can convert our car lights to the trailer lights. They didn't have it, so then we went across the street. Mind you, everything is only 2 minutes away. So we went across the street to AutoZone. They ended up having the adapter. Then we went right down the street to the title place, and we were in the title place for 5 minutes, and we had the trailer in our name, and we got a temporary plate for it. So then we went back to go pick up the trailer because they were still cleaning up all their mom's stuff from the RV lot area that she was renting. And so the lady told me when we got there that someone had showed up to purchase the trailer while we were off at the title office because it was just me, Elijah, and the kids that went. And so I thought I didn't hear her correctly, and I'm like, wait, somebody showed up today? And she's like, yeah, literally somebody showed up, a lady showed up to come purchase the trailer today. And when she pulled up, I was like, she had told the lady, oh, I'm sorry, the trailer's already been sold. And the lady got mad and was like, what do you mean the trailer's already been sold? I just got here. I'm the first person that's here, because this is around the 10 o'clock time frame that the lady said she'll be here. And she's like, yeah, I'm sorry. Like, the people, they already paid me, and, you know, the trailer's theirs. And the lady's like, well, how did they pay you so fast? Like, I don't understand how they did all this. And the lady had asked her, well, didn't you see, you know, that I marked the trailer as sold? Because I think it sends out like an automated message to everybody saying it was sold. And she's like, well, no, I don't use any of that type of stuff, so I didn't see it. And she just could not get her head wrapped around how we ended up purchasing the trailer, even though she was the first one to get there. But that's how I know, like, I feel like the trailer was meant for us. It's crazy. We've been looking for so long, and the lady was adamant about not holding the trailer, and somehow she just had a turn of events and was like, you know what, I'll hold it for you guys. Well, not even just hold it, I'll mark it as sold, because I believe and trust that you guys are coming. Because she's been trying to get rid of the trailer for a while, and people have been flaking out on her. They've just been downright rude. They've been trying to offer trades for the RV, and they're not interested in the trades. They just wanted the money from it. So yeah, so now we own a trailer, and it was a fun experience while we were up there with them. They were great people, and you know, it was a nice, easy, smooth transaction, which it just went flawlessly, which I can't even just, a lot of stuff can usually go wrong when you're buying and selling stuff, and this was just something that was just so nice and just so easy. So we are still about 2 hours and 18 minutes from the land, so next time you see us, we will be down at the land, and we'll be looking at a quick overview of the trailer. So this is Terry, our new travel trailer, and he is a 1994 Terry Fleetwood trailer. And so once we get it set up, we will show you the inside. So this is our new travel trailer. And so this is the front of it, and so it comes with a front window. Right on the other side of that window is a kitchen, and then it has a nice little awning that we can open and close. And then this is the hitch area as well. It has a spot for batteries to go. We're still trying to decide if we want to even bother with batteries, or we're just ready to, or if we're just ready to bring power in so that we can just do a RV hookup. And then this is where propane tanks would go for us, and then it has its mounting system. And then these did not come with it. Elijah bought these separate. It belongs to a distribution hitch, because that's that big piece, and then it has like these bars and stuff. Once we hook the trailer back up, I'll show you what it looks like with the distribution hitch attached. But it does have an awning on it, and the previous owner had it permanently set up at an RV park. So there's a gutter there. There was another one, but that one is somewhere between here and Snowflake. So we do need to take down that last gutter there, but it does have an awning. It hasn't been opened in years, so they said that it should still be in good condition. It just might need some cleanup, but that'll be a nice little awning here. We probably won't really use it just because of the high winds that we get, and you know, it's gonna blow the awning and probably break it, so we'll end up just building a whole structure to just come out and go over the RV. And so this is the entrance. They did have stairs with it that we ended up taking for now, but we will have to build out new stairs because this gap here is too big for the kids to step down on, so we'll need to build up a platform about that height. And then that's the door. It does only have one door, and then this line here is where they had dish installed, so we'll just have to pull out that cable line and then also fill in the holes. And then we also have external power for outside here on those sides as well. And then it does come with a lot of external storage. We have the storage compartments here, and then the storage compartment that's up at the front that actually connects into a cabinet that's on the inside of the kitchen. And then these are our back windows. And so this one does not have a window on the back of the RV because this whole entire backside, we'll see it when we go inside, is the bathroom. It's a lot of space in there. It's crazy how much space is in there, because when you think of an RV and a bathroom, you think of itty bitty little space, but this one's great. And then it has its ladder going up to the roof. There is some AC unit up on the roof and some other antennas and stuff like that. Elijah has to go up there to finish figuring out what everything is. And then going around the trailer, you can see like this piece here. You would also saw it on the other side. Let me go back that way. So you can see it along this side, but then you don't see it here because that's the bumper. They did give us skirting that goes completely around the trailer. However, we disconnected a lot of it because of the drive down here. So that's sitting over on the other side of the property for us to reattach. But it's great because that's going to help us when we get our pad and have it permanently here. It will help keep critters from getting under there. It will also help insulate the RV as well. And it will also protect the tires. And so this is the other side of the trailer. I'm going to stay low because we have our license plate up in that window. So basically there's more little compartments. This is where we have water hookups, AC hookups, all on this side, along with our furnaces and everything. And also something that is good is that our tires are still in good condition because they got the tires and then the tires were just parked. And they were covered, so they don't have any dry rot on them. The tread is perfect on them as well. So we did, before we left, right after we got the trailer, we stopped at Discount Tire to have them inflate them and to make sure that they're all good. So they gave us the go ahead. So I don't even know when we would need to change these. But this is the other window that goes to the living room. And then Elijah and I did this here where we put tape there. We ended up taping that up because there is just one right here. There's one little clip that's missing, and we didn't want it to break off the other clip on the other side while we were driving, so we just have to find a clip to replace that part. And then that's another little storage compartment, and that one goes into the other side on the kitchen. So yeah, that is the outside of the trailer. I'm going to go ahead and take you inside. Alright, so this is entering the RV. So we're going to start over here into the kitchen area first. Me and Elijah were messing around and split stuff in here. So, okay, so it's a little bit dark in here. So right when you come in, you turn to the right. This is where a dining table is at. Right now we have a dining table hanging out outside right there. We're going to end up getting rid of that one because we're thinking that we want to put in a different type of table, maybe like a little, or maybe like a counter that we can pull up to because we want to put our computer system there. And so it comes with a lot of storage. So this is all the storage that's inside the kitchen area. We were cleaning out drawers, so we pulled all the drawers out because the previous owner's daughter left all this stuff in there. So we're just emptying those out and cleaning. And so that's just under the cabinet. It does have a big sink that it came with, and then it has a nice big panoramic window. And then it also has these cabinets that are up here. It has a microwave that's not standard. We have our range, and then we have our cooktop as well. That is the cooking area. And then it also has some knife blocks that are in there that's built into the counter, so we'll just have to swap both of those knives, and then we'll just have to figure out what that goes to so then we can put a cover on it so that it's not exposed. And then it also has a cabinet above the fridge, and then we have a nice size freezer that is there. We are possibly going to replace this one to one that only runs off electric because this one does run off of propane. So this is just an overview of the kitchen, but it has a ton of space. Even if we left a table there, it still has a bunch of space. And then all the windows, let me see if I can get you on this side. No. So all the windows have this little tufting here that we're going to end up taking down. We're not going to put up new tufting. We're just going to run a curtain rod across and then just get some blackout curtains. Okay, so as you're coming out of the kitchen, this is the living room area. Let's see if I can get it all in one go. So this is the living room area. And so this is a pull-out bed. It sits on top of our water tank is underneath it. So Elijah and I are probably going to get a different futon to go here and then just take the legs off, and then, or get something that extends a little bit further, and then we can go ahead and put the legs there. And then we're also thinking we're going to get rid of this whole system here because we have so much storage that we don't really need any of this here. So we're gonna rip out this entire section so that it opens up the living room, and so that we can get a TV over here, and then maybe like a little bin for the kids' toys to go over there. And then the flooring, so this is the flooring coming in, and then it goes all the way through to the kitchen. And then it goes into carpet. And so we're gonna take this carpet out along with this flooring and just redo the flooring. And then we're also going to redo the cabinets as well. We are going to keep these little panes in the front. They're just mirrored panes. They're not see-through. So we are going to keep those because they're very gorgeous. But we're thinking about bleaching all the wood in here to do a nice light wood color. And then we'll also change out the 2 pendant lights on the side. And this is a nice window to allow airflow to come in to the living room area. So this is a bunk area. I guess you can call it a bunk area. But it has 2 beds on each side. This is a mattress that they left in there that we'll have to get rid of. And then both sides have a window. Ooh, it's dark. Let's go to this side. So both sides have a window. And then we're going to get rid of these little balances, do the same thing where we put curtain rods. And then on both sides, they also have these type of storage. So for here, so this would end up being the kids' sleeping area, since me and Elijah can be out in the main area on that futon. And so what we were going to do is we're going to modify this area a little bit, because both our kids have specialized mattresses. I don't know if you've heard of the Newton mattresses, but they are wonderful, and so they're 100% breathable. And so both of our kids have Newton mattresses. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the dimensions of one of our mattresses, and then we're going to build out a bed frame on top of this. We can't get rid of this because this has water lines and furnace and everything underneath, and there's stuff underneath, and like fuse boxes and everything, so we can't get rid of this. So we figured that we would custom make on top of this just like a little frame for their mattresses to sit into. And then on this side that has a long cabinet, we're going to extend this going all the way down so that we can put another cabinet here to where we can have extra storage for clothes, because me and Elijah might take the top ones on each side and then leave the kids the bottom ones so then they can reach their own clothing. Since our youngest is still in a crib, he should be out of a crib maybe in 6 months, maybe, we'll see. What we're going to do is on his side, on the other side, or whichever one we give them, we're going to build some bars a little bit higher so that we can then lift him into the crib area, and so he can't climb himself out or get hurt or anything like that. Okay, so then through that area, and then we have vents everywhere that we'll have to, that we can open up and get airflow coming through. And then coming through here, this is our bathroom. And so this one does have a little accordion thing here. The bathroom probably will need the most work in here, but it does have a giant closet in here, which is cool. And so with this one, I told Elijah that I don't want to keep clothes in here just because the shower and the steam and the clothes just doesn't make sense. So we're going to turn this into a linen closet, and then we'll also use this to store vacuums, brooms, all of our cleaning types of supply stuff. So we'll probably add in some shelves on one side here, and then use the other half for the vacuums. And then the toilet, we are going to be swapping out the toilet. We want to get an RV toilet that is residential height and more comfortable than this one is. And then Elijah's debating on whether he wants to keep the cabinet, because the cabinet is very wide for no reason. So he might want to change it to a low profile cabinet as well. And then we'll change out the knobs. And then as you go this way, this is the shower area. And one thing that we wanted in an RV is something that had a bathtub, so that we can give the kids baths, because since they're so little, they're not into the shower game yet. And then also, it's kind of hard to tell in the video, but the bathroom has a lot of square footage. That's one of the things that we loved about it, is that we can literally turn around, spin around, jump around, do everything in this bathroom, and it doesn't feel like we're claustrophobic and, just squeezed in there. So that one was a must-have. So yeah. So that is our entire RV, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this one, and we are excited to get started on renovations. We're going to go ahead and start doing a deep clean of it now. We're not going to show you that because that's just going to be boring. You don't want to watch us clean, but you do want to watch us when we start to renovate. So we will see you then. Hope you enjoyed the video.